Hey guys, this is Jay from The Crazy Life of Jay, back with another video today. This one will not have my file of facts in it, surprisingly. This one is all about pens that I use in my file of facts, which right now is technically only one, but because it has 5, we're going to kind of go over everything. As I mentioned in the videos that I just did about my new inserts and color coding, when I decided to go back to color coding, I pulled out my handy old Coletto 4-color barrel. I've used this pen for a couple of years now, on and off. I like it. It's a great pen. I love the ability to carry one pen and color code. I love the ability. It's really affordable. That is all fantastic. However, all you Coletto fans out there, I'm really sorry. There are a couple things that I'm not a fan of. One is the ink is just not archival. I have, spilled water droplets on my planner before, and it already starts to smear, which is really frustrating for me because I do keep my pages for years, and I just can't help but go to that place in my brain that says, oh my gosh, what happens if these pages get wet? What happens if something fades? It scares the crap out of me. So I knew that was an issue. All of my refills are also the 0.5 refills, which is too thick for me. Again, it's my fault because I ordered them. I didn't know any better at that point. But I knew that if I was going to be changing my pen system, I wanted to be doing something a little bit finer, which I know I can order with the Coletto, but with some of the other issues, it kind of made me wonder if I wanted to go somewhere else with my pen choice. The last thing that was a little bit frustrating with the Coletto for me, is at least with the 4-color barrel, is I couldn't have all the components that I wanted. What I typically do is I like to have a color for myself, a color for my husband, a color for both of us, for events that we're both involved in, and then black as my base color to write everyday events, as well as a pencil to write future events, which I know, okay, that's kind of demanding. But with this pen, I was able to have a color for him, a color for me, and a color for us. I was even able to have a pencil, but I still had to carry a separate black pen to write day-to-day notes, just to make it a lot faster, to have that basic color that worked really well. The other frustrating thing is, while this has a mechanical pencil, I didn't have room in this setup for an eraser component. So that was a big struggle, because the reason I have this is to carry less. And if I have to then have this carry a separate, eraser, carry a separate black pen, not to mention the ink isn't a quality that I like, it all just led to me needing to find something else. So since my black pen for quite a while now of choice has been the Uniball Signo line, and this one is the Ultra Micro. It's a 0.38 millimeter nib. This has been my choice for quite a while now, both for in my planner and out. It's, in my opinion, a fantastic pen. It writes really, really well. And I just love that it is a fraud protectant ink. I don't know if they technically call it permanent, but I've done some of my own testing and done a lot of research on some of the testing that's been done, and this ink stands up to pretty much anything. So this has kind of been my go-to pen of choice, and I thought, all right, well, I'm just going to have to get a bunch of different colors and carry a pen case again. Until someone pointed out the Uniball Style Fit, the Uni Style Fit, Meister, which is from Uni. It is the same Signo ink as my favorite pen in multi-pen form. So I was pretty ecstatic. It kind of was one of those, oh my gosh, that's everything I'm looking for moments. Of course, because I'm stubborn, it took me forever to actually order it, but now that I did, I'm really, really happy. First of all, I do love, because I use my planner everywhere, I do love it's a little bit more professional looking, maybe a little bit more grown up, in my opinion. It's a much more streamlined body. It's not quite as colorful, which I guess could be seen as boring, but for my use, I do really like that it has a little bit more of a streamlined look. It is a bit thicker, but it also doesn't have that rubbery grip that, if you can tell from use, this has just gotten so dirty. So I think that this will have a much better chance of staying a lot cleaner. The other great thing about this pen is you don't need to buy an eraser component for it, because it has an eraser in it, which made me very happy. And I happen to have a bunch of these erasers at home already. It came with one, and you can order more. I ordered all mine from JetPens. I bought this, and I've bought everything I've ever bought from there, but I did order it from Jet Pens. I know that they do have these erasers available. I happened to buy a mechanical pencil from the same company, from Uni, that came with a bunch of extras, so I know I'm going to be set to go for a while there. But I love that that eraser is built in. I don't have to carry a separate one. It seems a little counterproductive for me to have a mechanical pencil without having the ability to erase as well. So that's something I've really liked. It was different to get their refills for this pen, because the Uni refills, instead of coming in those pouches that the Coletto refills are so popular for coming in, the Uni refills come in tubes, which is maybe one of the only downsides. I have no idea if these are better or worse for storage purposes, but I know I was carrying those little pouches with Coletto refills in the back pocket of my Malden, which was fantastic, because if I did happen to run out when I was out and about, you know, I had them. So that was really, really a nice benefit of the packaging. These are a little sturdier, so I feel like I'm not at risk of breaking the refills if I'm storing them in a box or not being too careful with them. So that there's a little bit difference in the packaging there. Now, I have found that I have this big old pencil case that if I am going anywhere for a long period of time, I bring with me. So I just have a couple of them tucked into here. And it makes it really simple that if I am going to be gone for like a weekend or a week or anything like that, I know that I do have them with me. So that's been nice. So to open these packages is a little bit different as well, since it's not the plastic packaging. You actually twist this little tube and pull that open, and the insert is connected to this little plastic tip, which you pull off. It has one of those little blue, I don't know if you can see it, it has one of those little blue nib protectors, which I'm, you know, assuming helps prevent it from drying out, and you just pop that off. So it's still really easy to open. It's really, you know, user-friendly packaging. I'm also trying to figure out if there's a way I can reuse these, because the craft person in me says there's got to be some funky thing I can do with these tubes when they're done. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know, but I'm still kind of trying to figure out some cool things to do with that. So once you have all your components out, as you can see here, I picked lots of colors, and I chose all of the Uniball Signo inks. It is my personal favorite ink of choice. I do believe you can also get these in their Jetstream collection, which is Uni's ballpoint collection. I think you can only get that in 3 colors, whereas this has like a whole giant rainbow. But either way, it's definitely still really easy to use. Pick your colors. You can also pick different nib sizes, which, let's see if this will focus for me. They are all written right there on the pen cap. So to load it up is, again, a little different, because as you can tell, instead of the Coletto, these tabs are attached. They're not part of the pen refill. So to refill this guy, you unscrew the base down here, and then it had one in here just to kind of show you right off the bat how to do this, because it does seem like you're being a little bit mean. To pull any inserts out, it's spring-loaded, but you need to kind of tug a little, and you hear a little snap, which the first time I did it, I totally thought I broke the pen, so I was really happy to find out I hadn't. And then really, for me, the key was positioning my ink colors in a way that I would remember them, and in a way that would be easier to remember and that I know where they were. Because I know one of the complaints about this pen was because the plungers aren't colored, it's a little bit more difficult to know what color's which. I found a couple ways around that, so I'll share those. My first one is I chose the pen clip is one of the plungers. I don't know if you can see that. So I chose the mechanical pencil, and if you look down in here, you can see where you place these. So I chose the mechanical pencil to be my pen plunger, and you can hear a faint click when you snap that in, and it seems to be working. And then I chose the one right next to the clip to be my everyday color of the black. Now, one of my bits of advice with this pen is, because it's a little harder to see the colors with the smaller window on this style, is I made sure that I positioned the side of the cartridge that says black on it facing out. And I'll show you why in a second, but you just peek down there, see which one you're placing it in, guide it in, and you click, and you can kind of feel that little snap, and you can actually pull on it and see the plunger moving to know that it's engaged properly. Alright, so we have that. On the other side, I decided on mandarin orange was one of the colors I picked, and that is the color that I use for events that Brian and I are both involved in. back behind the black, I use their plain green, which is my color for any of my personal events. And then I love the color blue black, so I went with that for anything that Brian has going on. And if you can see, there's one little hole back down there. And it's kind of, by the last one, you kind of got to wiggle around. So it seems like they're all engaged, so now I just need to get the top and kind of make sure all the tips are in there. Screw that back on. And now, if all goes according to plan, we should be ready to go. I've got my mechanical pencil, which you can advance by just further pushing down the plunger. You can also advance it by pushing down on the eraser. So both areas I found will advance that mechanical pencil. To advance the next color, you just kind of do that half click. My black works, and let's see again if I can get it to focus. But I can see in this window, I can see that it's the black cartridge, and I can see the end of the word black, so I know that I've got the right one. Same thing with the green, same thing with the blue black, same thing with that mandarin orange. So for me, I love this pen. I love the way it writes because I knew I already loved the Signo ink. I knew it was something that I already loved, used a lot, and was a huge fan of. So now it's just a matter, I've been using this for a couple weeks now. I bought a plethora of refills because I'm one of those weird people. I hate ordering online. So I bought a whole bunch of refills just to be prepared. That was my other downfall with the Colettos, is the ink tended to run out really, really quickly. So I'm still on my first set of refills on here, but I do have a bunch extra. They seem to be lasting decently well. We'll see how it goes with time. Because cost is a factor, and if I have to spend, $20 a year to make this pen work, I have to decide if that's really worth it. But so far, it is, because I have all 5 of the colors that I really, really want, plus that eraser that's included, attached. I don't have to waste a whole, pen space in order to use it. I absolutely love it. If you've used the pen before, if you have any questions, if you have anything that I forgot, please leave them in the comments below or on the blog. Otherwise, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.